what we're doing with Arogya World is using Nokia's Life platform, the Life Tools platform, which is a mobile, which is embedded in the mobile phone itself. And what we do is we transmit messages about type 2 diabetes and transmit it to consumers who have this Nokia phones, mid-end Nokia phones. So it's really trying to reach consumers, and we reached 1 million consumers in the last 6 months to try and tell them that what are the steps you should take to prevent diabetes. Now we're seeing the results of this, and we're really seeing that there's a great improvement in the exercise habits, in eating habits, in terms of people taking green leafy vegetables and increasing their fruit intake and cutting down on their fatty food and fried food and everything. So the mobile technology has really helped us reach people to talk about type 2 diabetes prevention and not worry about getting it. So if you incorporate healthy lifestyle up front, then you can prevent diabetes from happening, and that's a very important thing for India, because India is going to be having the largest number of diabetic population by the year 2020. So we're almost 1.5 years now. We've been working with this whole platform and trying to understand how best. So we had to do several rounds of testing with consumers and trying to understand what to do. And the real program, after we did so many 2-3 rounds of consumer testing and everything, we started it for 6 months. We were in the field with the messages, and then we came out, and after that again for another 2-3 months now we are evaluating the program and seeing what is the impact of this program itself on people. The Nokia platform in and of itself, it's a small tool which is in the phone itself, so people just have to click on it. It's a very user-friendly thing. You just click and you see the message, you opt for it. But the thing is, you have to get the Nokia consumers to opt for this, which is what is the challenge. When they have opted for it, the message will come by itself, the text message will come by itself into the inbox sort of thing. It's not the message box, but it's their platform box, so they are getting it. The other challenge is, a lot of times what happens is that mobile phone in India is not just the ownership is not just of that one person, especially in the rural areas. It is the phone for the whole family. Sometimes somebody picks it up and answers the phone, somebody else takes the SIM card and puts it into something else and goes off. So all these problems are faced when you're really trying to evaluate the program. So you want the same person to read all the messages and really make a change in their life in terms of behavior and exercise. So these are real challenges. Sometimes the phone is gone, sometimes they cancel the SIM, or sometimes they change the handset and it's no longer there, so the tool itself is not there, so you can't send the message in there, or it's going somewhere, who knows what. So a lot of challenges in terms of, while the technology is there, but the enabling consumers that we have to enable to receive these messages and be consistent about it were challenges that we faced for sure. We went to 11 languages and then English plus Hindi. Analysis is done on the overall. What we are doing is analyzing rural versus urban behavior, and we've got the overall analysis where we've seen a definite change between the control group, between the experimental group that received the messages and the control group that did not receive the messages. So the experimental group was the Nokia users that got the messages, and the control group were common users who did not have Nokia phones, and they did not therefore get the messages. So they were regular users of some other company. The Nokia mid-end Nokia phones, because the tool, the Nokia Life platform tool, is what we use to send the messages to these consumers. It happened that Nokia has a great database, and they were a perfect private partnership with us, so we could run this program to the end and collect information and evaluate and see what is the impact of these messages. The next phase of the program is definitely not to be vendor locked in this situation where you have to go only to Nokia phones. The next phase is we're actually looking at what other means are there to take this program and perhaps develop more content specific for maybe state or people who are needing specific messages. So also to look at other apps or other ways of communicating the message, whether it's free text or whether it is just texting SMS, or whether it's some other tool that we can develop, or is it through the web. I don't know, but we're evaluating a lot of things. We definitely understand that this was only a Nokia event, and they were a great partner. But next steps, definitely phase 2 of the program has to be, we will not be limited to Nokia, because one we don't want to only be with Nokia phones, because the Nokia's market of the phones is not as much as the Samsung and the Androids and all the others. But we also have to realize that diabetes is not just a disease of the rich. or the middle class. Diabetes is very much there in the rural and very below the poverty line levels also. It's just that they don't have the means to check, and they don't have enough information to even think about this problem itself. So it's important that we reach not just across the high-end Samsung and the Android phones and whatever, but we really look at an interoperable technology so that we can reach everybody. It's not limited to a specific segment of society, because that would be important to now reach everybody, not just a specific segment like a Nokia or a Samsung or something. It should not be vendor locked in that situation. I think I really wish I had not missed, because this kind of critical interaction is very important. Just listening to the problems of other countries, I'm sure the other countries took away a lot of information from a lot of the applications that we saw within India. Obviously, India being larger and one of the biggest in Southeast Asia has more programs in place. And just by talking to my colleagues from other countries, I found that people were very interested in seeing how we can implement, and some of the other countries have implemented some of the grassroots levels or work that they've done. They would like to take it to the next level for mobile and everything. So these kinds of deliberations are very important, very critical, and it's really a great learning experience for everybody, not just from other countries, but for us also within India to learn from other countries. Give some examples of patients, not patients, but consumers. We talked to consumers actually who had received these messages and asked them, how has it changed your life? So there were at least 4 or 5 people we interviewed to create a video to understand really if this message has made an impact. And there were people who said, he takes care of his father, and because he got these messages, he was able to make his father go for a walk every day from now onwards and change his behavior. An older gentleman who was not willing to walk has slowly got into the habit of walking at least 15-20 minutes a day. And there were other housewives who said that, I was very busy only cooking and just eating whatever was on the way. But after getting these messages, I stop every time before I put some junk in my mouth. So there were instances where people felt that these messages had somehow, clicked. Maybe it arrived at the right time and it made them think, yes, I should change something in my behavior. So I think, some real life instances were these. We were talking about prevention. So these are not patients. They are all healthy people, and we want to prevent the disease from happening to them.